Ay, coming in, yeah, flex. I just wanna win, yeah. LABB, who we running with, yeah. 2233, I'm on.
Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports. A
Special draft edition.
episode.
Oh, hey, put your mic like in your face. It's really hard to hear you.
Pretend it's a luscious penis.
All right, I'm about to log off.
You wanted this. You asked for this.
No, I didn't ask for the bullshit that you guys put me through every pod. All right. So, how does it sound? Does it sound a little bit better?
It might just be the sadness that's not getting your voice.
Yeah, I need your.
Yeah, and the fact that my wife is sleeping.
Oh,
You asked for this. You were like,
No.
yo, the pod. After.
I didn't know that the shit was going to be 4 fucking hours long.
it's always 4 fucking hours long.
Yeah, but it's like, yo, y'all niggas know who you want, man. Just pick them. And don't pick somebody that nobody's fucking ever heard of.
Wait, that seems to be a theme. So, hey, James, I think we should start with James. I'm gonna take over on this.
You want to take over?
No.
Okay, take
I'm
over.
gonna take over. Hey, so, James.
Mm-hmm.
So we went the first couple picks. I think everybody kind of figured there was a little hiccup, and then we roll down here, and I'm looking, and we get to the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm sorry, I almost misspoke. So we get to the Las Vegas Raiders pick, and they pick. Didn't this guy like kill a bunch of people with a chainsaw, or is this? Am I mistook? Do you want to talk a little bit about the Raiders pick?
I wish we were doing this shit last year when we picked that racist prick up as your backup QB, but we're just gonna go with what I have now. So, I don't know shit about this guy.
It was Jake Fromm.
Yeah, from Georgia, but I don't know shit about this guy. Everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And I feel like we do this every year. There are memes, which I posted plenty. On my personal Twitter account and from the ASOS Twitter account. I even talk to myself on Twitter like I always do because none of you bitches ever do anything. And K-Dot, you don't have the login, but whatever.
I read
We're
it.
gonna see what the fuck happens with this. Yeah, we're
All right.
gonna see what happens with this.
I
There
will
was
tell
so
you.
many- all the other tackles that I thought we would have taken if we went tackle were still on the board and we didn't choose them. I have no clue. I give up. I'm not trying to figure out what the fuck happens. Whatever.
Who did call it before the draft pick came in?
See, now look, here's the thing.
Just answer the question.
No, you did. But here's the thing. I was like, damn, my TV's lagging. Like, Kadeem must have just seen it. And then I realized that you just said some shit and it fucking happened.
Do you want to know how I knew? I looked through a list and said Leatherwood sounds like some John Gruden
You
would do.
fucking did that.
I like this Leatherwood.
There is no chance a guy named Leatherwood is going to be on a list that John Gruden does not pick. That's all it takes.
Look, at the end of the day, I don't know. You never know if draft picks are going to turn out, but I hope it does.
Hey, they call him a quarterback hunter. So if you want to,
He played. Shut up, man. He played.
I
tackle.
I swear to God, they call him the quarterback hunter.
That's not a good
How's he
nickname for a
hunting
guy supposed to be protecting quarterbacks.
The fuck? Ryan, shut up. There's no way. No way. All right.
It's not good.
If that's his nickname, you just picked up the worst offensive lineman in history.
I don't know what we're doing.
Look, it's not. Here's the thing. It might not be a bad pick, and here's where I give the Raiders credit for. I am a firm believer that the draft itself is kind of overrated in the sense of if you have a guy that you like, just go get him. The only problem that I have with only problem I do have with the Raiders is that habitually they pick up a guy that will be there 20 picks later. Nobody's gonna mess with you. 20 picks later. Like if you're reaching the 5 to 7 like range, cool with me. But you have the opportunity to trade back, get multiple all sorts of other picks, and still pick up the guy you want. That's where I look at the draft stock and I'm like, well, if that's the case, you just don't give a shit. Like it's a matter of just. But you remember there is this theme that I was talking about the Raiders a couple weeks ago, stubbornness, and that's just kind of the way it runs.
Well, yeah, it's one of. Remember last year when we did the same thing? You guys took a flyer.
Ruggs, because his last name was Ruggs,
and he was the fastest guy in the draft, and then it was like the fact that
it wasn't a terrible pick. Like it wasn't a bad pick. It just wasn't the pick for that.
It's not the right
round.
pick at the time. Yeah, it's value. They never get good value.
You picked a guy who's named after
receivers were still there.
Yeah, I know.
That's why it's a bad pick for me.
You picked a guy.
I'm not going to convince you didn't do something bad.
You picked a guy that's gonna. I mean, hopefully he keeps Derek Carr healthy, but if he doesn't,
we have a left tackle, we have a left guard. We picked up a center from the Texans who's supposed
he killed so many people. I've watched two movies about this.
Shut up.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre series.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Shut up.
All right, look.
We need.
Oh wait,
maybe
maybe
right tackle now apparently. So I don't know what we're gonna do at right guard, but we might already have that figured out. Denzel good, but
maybe Leatherwood was the Pornhub version. I could be just mixing them up.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's a great.
You're fucking disgusting.
Look, before we spend more time talking about the goddamn Raiders and their stupid but forgivable pick, next up, as far as our three teams, was Washington that picked at 19, and we got Jamin Davis. I just like calling him Jamin. Jamin Davis, who's the linebacker out of Kentucky, and he was a guy that was running up draft boards. If you look at from like midseason last year to now, like he was just steadily climbing up everybody's board, which is kind of cool. Look, linebacker, I like that, jamming up the backboard. He's a dude that was on my short list of guys. Micah Parsons was number one to me, but then he went to Dallas, so fuck him. Beyond that guy, like the other dude, Owosu, from Notre Dame. But the fact is that if I'm looking over Ron Rivera's draft history as far as linebackers, usually picks them right. So, I mean, the last time he's picked, I think, this far up for a linebacker would be Luke Kuechly, 9. This is 19, so 10 picks back. I'm not comparing this guy to Luke Kuechly. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I was a Boston College fan. I'm not doing that. But I also think that there's not as much known about him as some other guys, but his tackle stats and everything are pretty off the charts. He runs a 4.3 to play inside linebacker with that kind of speed when you got a Ron Rivera and a Jack Del Rio teaching you. Not to mention you got a front and you got that line that makes sure it takes care of a lot of deficiencies and allow you to move around and use that speed properly. They're talking about bringing Landon Collins down to be more of a hybrid linebacker safety. Cam Curl being able to sit back there at strong safety. You got the corners on the end. That defense, man, even if this dude's not like a stellar linebacker, the speed alone, if he could just tackle, would be enough for me to say that it's a slant.
Who else are your linebackers? Like if you're gonna have Landon Collins,
John Bostic,
linebacker,
John Bostic, and Cole Holcomb. Cole Holcomb is another dude that I love. That guy. He's just
if he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy, you've got a really solid guy.
What I'm saying is, like, if you were gonna move Landon Collins to linebacker, I feel like y'all would have drafted a safety at that pick.
Cam Curl, who you keep forgetting I talk about. Cam Curl only got to play because Landon Collins went out.
One safety?
No, we're talking about strong safety. I'm not talking about free safety. I'm talking about strong safety. Those are two different positions. Strong safety, I'm saying that we have a Cam Curl who came in because Landon Collins was hurt.
Safety, then? Free
safety rotates between Deshazer Everett and what's his name? Troy Apke. Who
are they good?
They're
So that's why I'm saying the TCU safety would have played free safety. You could have moved Landon Collins.
You're not getting a free safety first round when you have
projected to go first
options. Who?
That's TCU safety. He's the best one in the draft. Like they had a mock going to us for so long.
Yeah, I don't care. You don't need to have my team live vicariously through your team's fuck ups. Jeremy Reeves, Troy Apke, Deshazer Everett. Those guys kind of rotate. Cam Curl can really play both positions as far as free safety or strong safety. That's where he was getting most of those picks last year was when he was playing free. But he's still so physical he can play in that box. I don't know if Landon Collins isn't making a full-time move to linebacker, but they're saying he's going to be more that hybrid role that you see them doing with a lot of these guys around the league, which I think just the more versatility you have with these guys, the better. I like this dude because of the speed that he would bring to the linebacker position, especially with that front four being there. I like the pick. I'm good. I'm good. The only other position I think at the position we got that would have been okay with me is anything on the offensive lineman. There were still a few guys offensive line wise that I would have been perfectly fine with. But right now, even looking at day 2, the way that things are shrouded up, I could see us go offensive lineman in the second round and being okay. But the Eric Flowers trade itself kind of lowered that rung of what it is we need on the offensive line anyway. So I don't think it's a position of need the same way it has been. People keep talking about wide receiver. Look, this is a deep wide receiver class. If they pick up somebody as far as a flyer, I'm okay with, but I also go into war with these wide receivers we already have. If I'm looking at the offense right now, it's kind of like you could tell me this is the offense I got to roll into with next year, and I'm completely 100% good with it. On defense, the big position I said was something that was of need was linebacker, and we addressed it in the first round of the NFL draft. I can't really say much better than that other than I give this team an absolute outstanding grade on not moving up and doing something unnecessary and not moving back down to get something like maybe they could have moved back down, but I think we found the right guy at the right spot for this team.
All right, Ryan, the Bills, they picked last between us 3. So what do you think?
They did. So if anybody watched the last pod, I named a couple of people I thought that they were going to take. The first person I mentioned was defensive end. To go on the other side after our draft pick last year. Defensive end that they took was Greg Rousseau from Miami. Didn't play last year, COVID. I mean, Miami, Florida. It was probably for the best. But he had 15 and a half sacks in 2019. He's fast. He's strong. For the 30th pick, we could have either taken him or a cornerback, I think. The cornerback I wanted, Caleb Farley, went 26th, I think. 26th? No. 22nd. I'm sorry, to the Titans. So it was either that or my other pick with that was Etienne, who went
the Jaguars.
Well before to the Jags, which honestly is brilliant. No, it's brilliant. So if we're going to stick with the Bills, brilliant pick. We need help on defense. Trust me, the Bills are not going to have problems scoring as long as Josh Allen stays healthy, and we have a pretty good backup. But as long as our offense stays healthy, we'll be able to put points on the board. The problem is keeping points off the board, because if you score 35 and lose 42-35, there's a problem. Right. Second note was that I think this is the first draft in which I've really seen coaches go out of their way to put multiple teams go out of their way to put star players, first-year star players with second-year starters in terms of first-rounders. So you have Etienne going to Jacksonville to play with Trevor Lawrence in the first round.
I think that was a dumb pick. You said it was brilliant.
All right, cool. So
I don't think it's. I think it's brilliant because
you spent a first round draft pick on a running back with James Robinson was a fucking.
Look at who's picking it though.
So, Urban Meyer
is a college coach.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to be able to put two people together, it's two people that played in college together. The other one was they put. The Eagles got the Dallas Cowboys pick and put Devontae Smith, the Alabama wide receiver, with Jalen Hurts.
The Oklahoma quarterback. Okay.
But he was at Alabama. Wasn't Jalen Hurts at Alabama transferred?
He might have been. I think that vaguely sounds familiar, but I think that's a reach regardless.
I'm just saying they're putting players together who are going to work, in my opinion. Jacksonville is going to be much better than we think.
Alabama and Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts did play both.
But Jacksonville getting a first-round running back when they already have James Robinson is kind of stupid to me.
Right, but what positions did they need?
Everything else.
Exactly.
Reason.
Exactly.
You don't need it.
Because if they can put up,
we have all these holes to fill, so we're not going to fill any of them.
So they're just filling offensive holes. They're just filling offensive holes. They can fill a lot of their offensive line problems a couple of their linebacker problems.
The running back wasn't a hole, man.
Yeah, but look, I'm a full proponent of defense first. But if you're going to say fuck that and go offense first, just make your offense deadly. If you score 50 points a game and they can only score 35, you're going to win.
I wish what you said made sense because it makes no sense.
Look, you have a college coach coming in.
Yeah.
To coach this team.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to work. I just understand what he's trying to do.
I don't understand what he's trying to do at all. And I think that's the thing. The same way that we just attacked James and the Raiders for the pick that they made, where you look at that, you're like, well, that guy would be there 20 picks from now.
You attacked me. I attacked too. So like the fuck. It was just bad. Go ahead, continue.
Fine. We're all attacking the pick.
Here's the thing. They have 2 round 2 picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a lot of shit.
2 round 4s, 2 round 5s, and a round 7.
Mm-hmm. I get it, but I'm looking like on offense there for that team. You can even say their wide receivers not a stretching or a glaring need right now, even though I'd want it. There are some other positions if I'm looking at Jacksonville, especially on the defense, in which I would start.
Chark, right? DJ Chark was drafted last year.
Yeah, there's still.
Chenault was last year.
Chenault was out there before.
Chark was here before.
So if I'm looking at that team right now, they're young enough on offense. You want to see them kind of gel and get right. But to me, if you're spending a first round draft pick on a running back, where none of the running backs this year out of this draft were supposed to be world beating running backs, when there's so many other glaring needs, and even the ability to potentially trade down and get even more draft picks to look up what it is you need on defense, is the only thing that I'm going to criticize the Jacksonville pick for. Urban Meyer has whatever it is that's in his head. Fine, go ahead, do your own thing. But it almost seems like a real old school way of thinking about things. And I'll give you credit. The aspect of pairing players with their college teammates, I think is something that should have been done until I saw Dwayne Haskins and Terry McLaurin, and I don't give a fuck about it.
Well, but Dwayne Haskins didn't really have any chemistry because he played for what, like 10 games one season?
I get it.
You have a guy that
you use Jalen Hurts as an example, and he played at 2 universities. So I'm just saying, if we're using it, I'm just going to use it as an example.
University.
I'm not killing the idea. I'm not killing the idea. I'm saying I did like it until I saw Dwayne and Terry. I'm not saying that's a rule for everything.
Was this a Terry problem or was this a Dwayne problem?
Regardless, having Terry and Curtis Samuel playing, they both play for Ohio State, is cool with me. But regardless, it doesn't really matter.
None of that matters. Is like, that's cool, but that only makes sense to me if you need that position.
Right, but here's the thing. They
mentioned Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. It's not like he's going to be throwing a ball all the guys. He's running back coming out of the backfield.
Etienne at what? Like 20. Where'd they pick him up at?
I don't know. Unless it's Saquon Barkley, I'm not fucking picking a running back in the first round.
No, but here's the thing.
Saquon.
In the second round, they have the 33rd and 45th pick. So they're not hedging that much.
Brother, I'm
not hedging that much.
Hey, I'm just saying, is it the word that I heard you use to describe the pick was brilliant. And that's the only thing I'm pushing back. That's all I'm pushing back on. But it's the draft. And here's the thing with the draft. And it's the same reason I fucking hate the draft. We don't know. None of us know. We all
thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be the bust of this draft. I think
Trevor Lawrence is the bust of the draft because of Jacksonville. I just don't think Jacksonville works.
But if you put a player that he's very comfortable playing with, I think that gives him better odds. If he can't see the thing downfield and he's struggling, he can dump off to Etienne, who is going to catch the ball.
Is he going to start?
Who?
You think Etienne's going to start?
Over James Robinson? Not a snowball chance, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, what the fuck? You spend a first round draft on a huh?
He's a catching back. You put him in. You can also put 2 running backs in the backfield.
You can. I'm not saying you can't use them. I'm just saying that there's better value.
He's better off on an offensive lineman to protect Trevor Lawrence. That's typically what happens when you draft a QB at number 1. You get you pair him with an offensive lineman to protect.
Right, but
that happened this draft.
So they have 33 and 45, which I'm pretty sure there's going to be some decent offensive linemen.
Yeah, but if you get a better one, why wouldn't you do it?
What better one? What better one was taken?
Whatever, I can't remember.
What better one could they have taken that was taken? The Jets took Elijah Vera Tucker.
Mm-hmm. What pick did that was earlier, right, or later?
That was at 14.
Mm-hmm. What pick did they get the running back from Clemson at? Because the ones before don't matter.
They got him at 25.
Mm-hmm.
After that was Greg Newsome,
The
cornerback. Rashad Bateman, defensive end, cornerback, defensive end. So if they have to wait 3 more picks to get the best.
No, they had the first pick of the second round.
They do.
First pick of the second round.
They do. I'm just saying, like, what's the harm? Right?
Not feeling it.
The only harm to me is anything that's harming James Robinson. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, they even picked up Carlos Hyde in free agency. More than anything, it feels like a slap in the face of James Robinson. I'm looking at just trying to get him off that team at this point. Because I thought he was the best thing about that goddamn team in the last few years. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe they don't believe in him that way, or maybe they're just going full running back committee. I get feel-good story, Clemson reunion, whatever. Cool, fine, maybe it works out. If I'm looking at it and I'm drafting, I don't make that choice. But once again, I don't have the fucking job. And it's just what it is for me. And once again, we don't know what any of these draft picks are going to be, not even next year. You got to wait maybe 3 years after draft to see whether or not you actually worked out with anything that actually happened, right? Because the injuries are all kinds of other shit. So we'll see.
But I did see a post with Trevor Lawrence holding the gap like this. And then people in Duval County were like, that's our guy.
Sounds about right. All right, so we spent enough time talking about fucking Travis Etienne. Is there anything that surprised anybody tonight as far as the draft went?
That's who the fuck we picked.
The only pick I was surprised about, the only person I had to go watch like clips of afterwards was the Niners pick, which was Trey Lance. I had seen him throw before. I had watched him throw, but I was like, you have Jimmy G, obviously, is an injury risk. Who the fuck is this kid from North Dakota? North Dakota State?
Yeah, but he's one of the main ones that they've been talking about.
Right, but I didn't take him seriously. Trust if you play at North Dakota State, there's a chance that I've only seen one of your games, maybe. Kid is good. That kid is real good.
They've been hyping him up for the past.
But they have Jim. I don't watch ESPN. I don't care what any of them have to say.
NFL Network.
I still don't watch that either.
I Am Athlete.
Also, NFL Network isn't like I have Cox, Ryan's Cox. Ryan's Cox doesn't have NFL Network. I don't know why. Anyway, I watch him throw. Kid's good. But they have Jimmy G, who's supposedly healthy and who was not dealt today. I'm shocked.
The thing on draft day, you're not gonna see a lot of guys move on draft day just because of the way the contract is structured in the league year. So June 1st is the date that I think everybody needs to look at, and June 2nd, where you're gonna have guys start moving to see what happens as far as that dead cap before and after you move somebody. Jimmy G, I'd still be very surprised if he's on that roster. I think I keep hearing New England's name keeps popping up. Even today, I heard a little bit of shuffling around Washington and Jimmy G. I doubt that would happen, but I think New England probably is a good fit. But here's the thing: New England right now, I don't even think is in the conversation after they pick Mac Jones, which is my favorite pick. I think this draft so far.
Let me add something.
But you got to put Mac Jones behind the starter, right?
Cam Newton still in New England,
right?
And I meant a real starter.
Cam Newton was a world-beaten quarterback before he got COVID last year, and you're talking about also a short off season. I think if you give Cam a full off season with that team, he's going to be markedly better than he was last year.
But do you want to put him behind a Cam Newton who does Mac Jones a pocket quarterback, or you want to put him behind a Jimmy G who's a pocket quarterback? I would rather put him behind Jimmy G in the system that Jimmy G's already been in.
All right, number one,
put it behind Cam Newton.
Leaving. The reason why they picked Trey Lance is so that Jimmy G can start and he can be the quote unquote bridge quarterback.
I'm hoping that's the case.
That is the case.
Might be, but they got a weird
Trey
coach.
Lance didn't start that many games from what I remember. So that's the point of him like sitting behind Jimmy G and learning for that first year or so.
Or two.
So that's number one. Number two, like the Pats already committed to Cam. So
for 1 year, right?
Yeah, that's all you need. Give Mac Jones a year to sit behind Cam and learn how to work, learn how to like know the playbook and shit like that, and then let him go.
It didn't seem like Cam Newton knew the playbook last year, but he's had some time.
He said that the playbook consistently evolves.
It does.
When he was out for COVID, the playbook was evolving, and he wasn't there.
And they do not wait for you.
Right. So like that whole narrative about like, yeah, like it's kind of bullshit to me.
Literally, you just watch the tape. Before and after COVID, it was two different fucking Cam Newtons in that offense.
Yep.
Period. And we were on this podcast talking about how great Cam Newton was. Me especially after the first 3 weeks. We all talked about Cam looking a lot better than we expected him to look. Me, I think I went further than everybody else, and I still stand with that. Look, the Jimmy G thing and Trey Lance is also an amazing pick for me because of who it is he's going to, which is Kyle Shanahan. And when you have Kyle Shanahan, he got his guy, like his dad did the same thing. These are the same guys who drafted RG3 and Kirk Cousins at the same goddamn draft, knowing that Kirk Cousins was the guy that they wanted. I think Trey Lance gives an opportunity right now of not having that much experience and be able to sit behind Jimmy G. I think is a perfect solution. Same thing I feel about Mac Jones up in New England. Those are two franchises using the quarterback position in the draft the way I say you should. It's literally blueprinted. This is Kadeen's method for what it is you should do as an NFL organization to make sure you're getting the best out of your quarterback. I love them both. The only thing I was saying about Jimmy G is I think there are going to be some offers coming up for Jimmy G, potentially, especially wherever this Aaron Rodgers thing, which we'll talk on in a second. I think there might be some teams as we get closer to the season and they see Trey Lance in San Francisco might want to offer a few things to San Fran, which are going to have to make them listen. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, while I would agree that I think for the betterment of Trey Lance, you keep Jimmy G there at least for a year. If you get a good enough package that you're like, if Jimmy G sucks next year, we're going to get the same thing. I don't know. But whatever. But all right, look, beyond those things is the biggest story out of today, without question, was the news that Adam Schefter dropped on ESPN earlier today, which was that Aaron Rodgers no longer wants to be in Green Bay.
Calling bullshit.
But we all said that though.
I'm still calling bullshit.
You're calling bull. You're saying that he wants to stay.
No, I'm calling that he's like posturing in some mannerism.
Posturing for what?
To get them to draft help, they drafted a defensive back in the first round tonight.
Wait, weren't they supposed to restructure his deal?
No,
or re-sign him?
They said they weren't.
Offered, he said no.
Yeah, he didn't.
Maybe the money wasn't right. Where's he gonna go? Who wants him?
He has 3 teams. He said the Niners, but not happening anymore because they just drafted QB. The Broncos.
Very much in the cards.
Like who the Broncos got? Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy Bridgewater, they traded a 6th-round draft pick for. I'm sure they'll be okay if they have to move on.
But how much is Rodgers' contract going for right now?
He has to be traded after June 1st. That's
right.
To the group because
it's not even a huge
like 38 million.
Yeah, but even after it turns to 20-something million, it's a $10 million difference. At the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not the biggest deal in the world.
Shit.
It's not. It's just for these NFL teams, it's not honestly the biggest deal in the world.
Was the Vikings on the board?
No, there's one more team that was on that list, and it was the Raiders.
Yeah, there's just 3 teams.
Look, San Francisco's out. If you're looking at Green Bay and what it is they want to do, you can pretty much eliminate the entire NFC. There's no chance they want to leave Aaron Rodgers in the NFC. Yep. Outside of that, if you're looking at the AFC, you're going to want a position or a place in which Aaron Rodgers is going to feel as though his word is that people that give a shit about him. I think Denver's number 1 on the list because you got John Elway who's sitting back in the front office, and he knows John Elway is going to do everything he can to make him happy. John Elway has just spent how many years trying to look for a quarterback after Peyton Manning left? That's all that John's been trying to do.
After Tim Tebow left.
Even before Peyton, John was just wanting a quarterback. And when Peyton became available, it was like, nothing's going to stop me from getting this guy. I still think he's going to do the same thing when it comes to Aaron. Also, if you're looking at the weapons that Denver has on offense, quietly a really good fucking wide receiving core and tight end. So they do have some fucking burners. I think it'd be a pretty good landing spot for Aaron if he was going to go anywhere. But I think we'll go into more detail as far as the Aaron Rodgers thing as more news comes out before.
Yeah.
What do you think about if he went to us? K-Dot.
The Raiders?
Yeah.
Derek Carr's too soft. They wouldn't do it.
Derek Carr wouldn't be there.
Yeah. He'd be gone.
You would trade Derek Carr to the Packers. But
all right, the Raiders themselves, if I'm looking at it, here's what I say.
Actually, that's not a bad trade.
I know.
If you're Green Bay, is Derek Carr straight up for Aaron Rodgers?
No. You're gonna need more than that.
And a 6th rounder. Come on.
No, you're gonna need a lot more than that. This is
you'll need as much, especially considering like
after Aaron Rodgers gets sacked for the 14th time in 3 weeks, he'll be like, yeah,
do y'all remember the other quarterbacks got traded this offseason and what was given out for him?
Yeah, but then the market went down right after the Stafford.
It's Aaron Rodgers. Regardless of how it is that I might feel individually about him, you're gonna have to pull off
saying that they're leaving.
You're gonna have to pull off a Ricky Williams draft day type of shit to go get this guy, especially from Green Bay, who knows that they're gonna have to eat $20 million, where it is that they could have him sit on the goddamn pine and not do anything.
That's why I don't think he's going anywhere.
So that's my only thing when it comes to that, is that you've got to have a good combination of everything. But the question that got asked from me by you, James, was what would happen if he goes to the Raiders? Look, regardless of how it takes, I don't think the combo of Aaron Rodgers and John Gruden is a good one. I just think their personalities clash. I think that there's a
point.
Can I answer your question?
Go ahead.
So I think that their personalities clash not in a good way. I think that there are some guys that you can yell at and do the rah, rah, rah thing, and it gets the better out of them, be it like a Brett Favre. I don't think Aaron sort of operates in that. Aaron's a lot more passive-aggressive. Aaron's a lot more hold it in. Aaron's a lot more he gets down. That's why I don't think Aaron's ever playing another down for Green Bay. I think he'd rather retire than play another down for Green Bay because he's stubborn as shit. But I also look at the draft pick that John Gruden just made, and I say, does Aaron Rodgers like or hate that draft pick compared to dudes that make either work out or not work out? And does he feel as though he's not getting any help the same way that he felt?
Cornerback.
I get it, but here, if the offensive line is a bum and the defensive back actually does something, James, you got to stop getting so goddamn defensive. I'm not attacking you.
I'm asking you questions.
I'm answering your original question.
Yeah, we don't know.
Can I answer your original question?
Go ahead.
Before you get all emotional on me?
I'm not emotional.
You're a little emotional.
I love the Raiders.
That's hold on. My entire Twitter night now has been watching Raiders fans react to the news and walking out of rooms. So that's my entertainment tonight. So I don't care. But look,
shit is funny.
I don't think John Gruden's personality quite meshes with Aaron Rodgers in the way that you'd hope it would. I don't think you're going to get the Rick Gannon response. I don't think you're going to get the Brad Johnson response. Aaron Rodgers is more along the lines of having a unique personality, almost like Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler is a special type of breed of dude, right? Is that you can't interact with him the same way you would interact with most guys. Aaron Rodgers is smarter than everyone in the room he walks into. He knows he's smarter than everybody in the room he walks into. And he's very passive-aggressive in the way that he handles shit. He has a dry sense of humor, and that's not what John does. John is in your face, doing this, doing that. I just don't think it would match. If I'm looking at any team, the one that makes the absolute most sense is Denver. Bar none. It's just Denver. It just makes the most sense. Not to mention his fiance, I think, has a lot of history in Colorado Springs and other places in Colorado, which makes a lot more sense.
His recent fiance.
Whatever.
Like, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's his fiance regardless. And I also think that I'm hoping Aaron's been more on TV recently. He's been doing the thing as far as Jeopardy. The fiance kind of came out of nowhere. He's doing the Barstool interviews. He's kind of like turning the page and changing it to a new leaf just a little bit. I want to
on Barstool.
Oh, not anymore. Sorry, but he's not on Barstool anymore. I think he did do a Barstool interview.
He did. But
the James Levis.
All right, so he's so angry. I hope he tries to come back. But so I think that because Aaron Rodgers, God, plug your goddamn computer in.
Did it die?
Yeah, that's what it said. I think because Aaron Rodgers talks to less family members than all of the Raiders coaching staff combined. it's probably not a good place for him.
Regardless, we'll get into probably more detail about the Rodgers thing.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Already.
Also, remember he dated like a bunch. Wasn't it like Munn and then Danica Patrick? So like after Munn, he didn't talk to his family. Danica Patrick, she seems awesome to me. So I don't know why.
I'm trying to get people to understand what my take is on Aaron Rodgers, because I think people think I just outright hate him.
Dude. No, he's lacking.
He frustrates me.
He lacks when it counts. Look, he's like, to me, he's almost like Clayton Kershaw in that when he is one of the best of all time, and then you put him in the pressure cooker and he fries and he just doesn't have it. But he's had the same pieces the whole year that he's worked with, and then you put him in the pressure cooker and he just can't do it.
I agree. And the thing is that, like, I will say this. I think Aaron Rodgers will go down in history as one of the most prolific passers ever.
No, yeah.
But I think
is he one of the best?
But the thing is, what I don't
Never.
want to hear anymore is the aspect of, like, if he played for Green Bay, he'd have more rings than Tom. I think that's ridiculous. I think
if he played for the Patriots,
yeah. Sorry,
not a fucking chance.
It's to me is that we have to look at him through this, guys. Is that Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he lacks a clutch gene. He's not a great leader, and if you're going to put him in a tier, you put him in the, and this is still great tier. Dan Marino, Peyton, Let's stay with those. Steve Young. Steve Young might be. Yeah, maybe Steve Young, but I think Steve Young had better intangibles than Aaron. If I'm looking at those guys, but even if I'm looking in that rung, I put him below these guys because I actually think in a lot of ways he's had more help. And
he squandered talent. He squandered opportunities.
And my thing is
squandered opportunities that these other quarterbacks did not squander. And often the reason Dan Marino's not in there is not a Dan Marino problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of that team, but I think the thing with Aaron that frustrates me is just the way that people don't talk about any of the flaws, and we do that with every other quarterback. He's just this passionate, just the perfect guy, and I just don't agree with it. And it's frustrating to me because he's into everything that I'm into. I love Jeopardy. I love Game of Thrones. I love Olivia Munn. I love Shailene Woodley. Like, I love all these things, but it's, dude, just be better.
The problem is, and he's at the twilight of his career, which makes him, hey, we got a visitor. He doesn't have a hat on.
Look at that.
And hold on, guys. Hold on. I got it.
All right, but before I go any further as far as the Aaron Rodgers thing, let's save the rest of it for this weekend with other shit. James, thank you for coming back, but we just thought you got all.
Thanks for getting me out of bed. Hey, great draft so far. There's a couple questionable picks, but we still have like another 3 days of this shit.
All right, before we go, of the 3 teams that we all root for, who had the best draft so far?
Well, I picked the person that I thought we should draft.
I mean, he was on my short list,
but I think honestly, Washington football team probably had for what they needed. Like, obviously we needed it, but we had the 30th draft pick, so we got exactly what we needed. But I think
did the Phillips kid already go before y'all picked?
Jamin in the name of the Lord. The Washington football team is jamming. Did
the Phillips kid go before y'all picked?
Which Phillips kid? The safety?
For Miami.
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, all right.
I think that's what the whiff needed, though.
Yeah,
they got a 4-3 linebacker. Like, oh hey, second best defense in the league. Neat. Very fast linebacker.
Which team do we think had the worst draft so far?
If between all of us, I'll let you go first.
James, do you know? And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the Death Star, it did go boom.